Well, just looking at this thing, these the calipers need a little cleaning. They're in pretty good shape. The wheel needs some cleaning. I've got, I told you, that yellow looking paint in there, and it's kind of weathered. The same as on both sides. The front of these forks are kind of chipped and stuff from stones and things. So this whole thing really kind of has to be restored. It don't really make much sense to kind of partially be putting it together and then taking it apart and putting it back together. And so what I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this wheel off of here. I got to take rotors off anyway. Pull the rotors, clean the wheel real good, paint that part in there that's yellow. Some of this silver color I got. Clean up the front forks and spray them with my gloss clear, and this will finish this whole front end. And I clean up the rotors, and I got new sets of brake pads. I can put all of that together, and I shouldn't have to take that apart again. It should just fall right out of there. I might have to pull off the wheel or something, but I shouldn't have any trouble putting this front end back in there. And there's going to be nothing chipping up the new paint. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to disassemble it all, start cleaning up this front end. That'll be a good project for today. It's nice out here, nice and sunny. My little tarp stopped the rain. Anyway, I'm going to restore this wheel, and if I got enough time, then I can start sanding on some of this other stuff. But that's something that I know I got to be doing, and it's right here, and I got all the tools. I might as well do it now. Alright, I got it cleaned up good with some Scotch-Brite and a wire brush, and I'm just going to hit it here with this silver. Well, man, that stuff really is silver. I didn't take a lot of time trying to protect the edge where the brake goes on, but I'm not going to put a hell of a lot of paint on it. I'm just basically trying to get it a uniform color like that and let that dry pretty good, and then I'll squirt a little clear on it. Then I can go ahead and put the brakes on it. That bearing looks a little dry. I'm not going to take the bearings out, but I am going to force some grease down in there and try to get this wheel best I can. Well, that's about 3 coats of the silver. I let it dry pretty good and then hit it with a clear. Mottled it a little. Actually quite a bit. But even though it's not the best job I would like, it's good enough. I don't know, I don't like that modeling. Anyway, I could take forever trying to get a perfect paint job on this thing. And this is all going to be kind of hidden in behind that rotor anyway, so I think that's good enough for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Yeah, I decided it wasn't good enough, so I just sprayed it again with the silver. I don't know how long this stuff will last or what kind of weatherproofing it'll do, but it looks better like that without the clear, and hopefully it'll be hard enough. There's a coat of clear under it, so I got enough paint on there to make it pretty tough, so it should be pretty good as far as weather goes. Pulled my masking off. Looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna put on my brake rotors and Loctite them in. Yeah, there's my bolts. I put the little thread locker on them. Just put them in. I'll crank it down real good, and that should be finished for this brake. Yeah, there's one side completed, all bolted down. It looks pretty good. And well, looks good enough, at least better than dirty down in there. Now I'll just clean up this side, mask it, do the same thing basically. Alright, cleaned up the forks here as best I could. The only way to get them completely, strip all of this clear off of them. But I cleaned them up and hit them with lacquer thinner, and that looks good. I'm trying to keep this off of the top forks up here. I didn't wipe them, so they're still covered with oil, so anything that gets on it will just come right off. And they should be able to turn right around. A couple coats of clear on these. Looks like I could clean them a little better there. But basically it's fine. Yeah, that's good enough. And turn this one. And this is gloss acrylic enamel, so it should be looking pretty good. Not like I say, I'm not trying to make this thing brand new. I'm just trying to clean it up best I can. Looks like I got a run right there. Yeah, we'll let that dry. Put another coat on it. Should be alright with my forks. This one's got 3 coats of silver. And I'm pretty much done with it, so I just have to unmask it and put on the brake. Same drill. Looks pretty good. Just put my brake brake on here. And take my nice Loctite bolts. Put them all in, torque it down, and I'll be done with this side. And that's it for that side. Looks pretty good. Can't really see anything. So, Mr. Wheel's finished. Good enough. Alright, I painted these two brakes up. I didn't get too carried away. I just cleaned them good with lacquer thinner and then painted them. But there's an inspection cover here that should just pop off. I'm not sure how to get it off. Should just take a screwdriver or something and it should just pop right off. I don't know, maybe not. And then there's two little, like about 4 or 5 millimeter bolts here that are pins that hold pads in. I've got new pads, so I'm just going to take this apart and put pads in. Well, they're between 5 and 6 millimeter. 7/32 did fit it, and I was able to turn them, but they weren't doing anything. So that's not a screw, it's just a pin, and you pull these two little clips out of here, and then that pin should just pull right out of there. Looking down in here, it's got some brake dust. Not too bad. Ordinarily I'd wash this out really good and lubricate it so there's no chance of these little cylinders getting stuck or anything. But since I've already painted it, I'm not about to squirt brake thinner on my fresh paint here. I'm just going to go ahead and stick the pads in. There's a label on this one, says front use only. Yeah, on both of these. And it's stamped into the metal too, front. So I guess maybe there's a difference between the front and the back. I don't know. I imagine these the front ones are smaller than the back ones. Here's the front ones. We'll see if we can get a comparison. That's the good side. See, it's about half gone. Here, this is the pressure side, I believe. See, it's, you know, a third gone. It's these pads needed to be replaced. So just as well I put in these new ones, and these are, did a lot of research on the internet, and the guys recommended these as having the best stopping power. I forget what they called them, some kind of special blend of stuff. Anyway, they just go in there, and then there's a metal clamp that goes on it, and the two pins go back. Let's see what I can get in there. So basically the pin goes in, goes through the brake shoe. You put the thing so it's holding down on the pad, and the little one's going under the pin. You move it around till the hole lines up, and then you one-handedly push it through. I can't do it. So that's what you do. You just thread it through there and push the pins in, and put the little cotter keys back. And I just put the other pin back in, but here's something you should do. You can see how this one's chewed up. I just take some of this buffing stuff. Maybe you can see it, and just clean it up. I don't remember what you call this stuff. Plastic, steel, wool, or something. And just clean it up. See, that looks pretty nice right there. And then make your life a lot easier. What I'll do is my WD-40. And anyway, and then spray some WD-40 on this, or a little bit of oil or something, so you don't have to fight with it so much when you try to put it through this thing here. Let me find my WD-40. Then all you gotta do is, when you're putting this through, you gotta push this down with a little screwdriver or something so it goes under, and line up your holes, stick your pin in, and then Mr. Cover ought to just pop right on there. Anyway, I'm sure you can figure that much out. Yeah, and by the way, just a tip, if you're restoring something, I just took some lacquer here, lacquer thinner, try to hold it with my leg, and I'm just cleaning up all of the fittings and the heads of the bolts, taking paint off anywhere that there's not supposed to be paint. Even the little cover here, I took all the paint off it with lacquer thinner. So now I don't look like somebody just came along with a spray can and sprayed it. It looks like it's still new. So, but that is what happened. I came along with a spray can and sprayed it. Probably once it's on the bike, I'll be real careful and shoot another good coat on it. But for now, that's just basically cleaning up this first caliper. So you just dump out the old pads, put your good shoe and pin in it. Oops. Stick your other one in there, and then your spring, thread it all through, and then you're done. Here we go, two brand new, freshly rebuilt new brakes calipers. We'll stick them on there and see what it looks like. Well, there we go, finished product. Looks pretty good. The brakes turned out nice. I got a little bit of clamps and stuff over here to just go for the lines and hold the speedometer. But it looks real good. The parts I painted, look nice in there. That extra silver didn't hurt it any. And I poured a lot of clear, especially here on the front, because that's where the rocks and stuff hit. But it looks alright. It's not new. And I cleaned the wheel pretty good. I didn't really bother with the outside too much because I'm going to do that with all soap and water and polish. And this lower triple tree I got to do something to. Top one, it looks pretty good, but that lower one looks like it needs to be cleaned and cleared again. And then when my bearings come, I can put that in permanently. But for what I was doing right now, that's it. I can tell the difference because I've been working around it. You know, that one there compared to that one, it's just it's a really big difference. Well, good. I put the woe to it. That was a funny story. I wound up running the stop sign across the intersection and over a sidewalk up through a guy's yard and ended up in his flower bed, and I finally hit his wall in his flower bed. That's how I stopped. I managed to get the bike out and backtracked across his lawn and snuck away. I don't think he ever did know who skidded all the way across his lawn into his flower bed. You know, that's when I found out that these brakes don't work that good. Well, that was a lot of work for such a little pile of parts. Tailpiece, which wound me up into the fender, which was broke. These pieces, this broken piece, which I had to take off, and I had to take all the brakes apart to get that out. And I still got to take the turn signals and stuff off of this. And the little tail piece, I painted it with a spray can, but I don't like that very good. Maybe I'd try it again, but I can see it probably ought to be better flat. That's the tail light. I'm going to do something different with the tail light anyway. Anyway, this all gets to be gold, and then I'll just buy a fork brace, a nice polished aluminum one, and I won't paint it. If it gets here in time, maybe I will, but probably not. I'm still waiting on a water filter for my little compressor. I've got some decals here. I'll kind of give you an idea what this is going to look like. Now this is what it's going to look like. There's a tuning fork logo that goes up here on this. This is a nice thick one. I've got another one here, just blew off. It's a original Yamaha stock one. It's a little smaller than these. These are just a little bigger. But anyway, that's where the Yamaha thing goes, and the tank will be gold. And this here used to have a Yamaha etched into it, but I've got these big Yamaha letters that'll get stuck on it. The whole tank will be gold, and the gold letters will be, they'll blend in real good, I think. And then we've got chrome vmax. It's also a fairly thick sticker, and that'll go on the side covers. And of course, underneath this, I'm going to paint that whole thing gold. So all of this stuff here will be gold, and the little decals will just give some little details to it. And I don't know what it'll look like. Usually black and gold always looks good, so I think it'll probably be a really nice bike, and the gold will make all the black motor and silver and everything really jump out. Anyway, so far it's just in my head, but a couple more days here it'll be in reality.